one of the things I'm excited to start doing, with Patreon and the app and some of these other things is not to share, my scars and things I've learned along the way, kind of the way I say that, but also share with you some of the kind of the more profound things I've learned from other people. I mean, I might be the wealthiest man when it comes to having had chance or intentional encounters with incredible leaders, proven expected that you may know of or you may not have. But one of the things I want to start doing more regularly is maybe read some of the things that they shared with me or point out some of the quotes or chapters or parts of books that I kind of always go back to. And one of the most legendary men of the Marine Corps is Colonel Bristol. He's it's almost hard to describe his the totality of his service in the Marine Corps and the national security world. And he created this system called the McMAP, Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, which is just this hyper-violent, brutally effective fighting system that, of course, the Marine Corps would be proficient at. And I was talking to him one time, and he told me to go read this quote. And I read this quote, and I fell in love with it. And I'm not the only one. I don't know how many people know this quote, but if you haven't, it's worth reading. And it's about an author named Raymond Chandler who used to write kind of these detective mysteries back in the day. But the quote is this: "Down these mean streets a man must go who is not himself mean, who is neither tarnished nor afraid. He is the hero. He is everything. He must be a complete man and a common man, and yet an unusual man. He must be, to use a rather weathered phrase, a man of honor, by instinct, by inevitability, without thought of it, and certainly without saying it. He must be the best man in his world and a good enough man for any world. He will take no man's money dishonestly, and no man's insolence without a due and dispassionate revenge. He is a lonely man, and his pride is that you will treat him as a proud man or be very sorry you ever saw him. The story is this man's adventure in a search of a hidden truth, and it would be no adventure if it did not happen to a man fit for adventure. If there were enough like him, the world would be a very safe place to live in, without becoming too dull to be worth living in." Like for me, that's kind of like this continuum, like where on the spectrum do we live as kind of dangerous people, and dangerous in the best sense, to our adversaries and to the adversity we face. So you want to have a motivating quote, Raymond Chandler, "Down these mean streets." And if you want to learn about an icon in the Marine Corps, see what you can find about Colonel Bristol.